There is a capsule around the whole kidney, and that's called the renal capsule. It's kind of a, covering or protection on that. When we look at a kidney that's cut open, we're going to go ahead and go with this one, and I'll explain to you what you see in these kind of mutilated ones as well. At a superficial view, I can actually see my renal pyramids. Everybody see that? In between my pyramids would be my renal columns. Make sense? Now, in this deeper view, if I stuck a pin in this, or this, or this, or this, or this, or this, or this, you would tell me that those are minor calyces. If I stuck a pin here in this area, you would tell me that it's the major calyx. If I stuck a pin here close and leading into the ureter, I would want you to tell me that I'm in the renal pelvis. Make sense? If I asked you specifically what part of the kidney is this, you tell me that it's the cortex. If I said what part of the kidney is this, you would tell me that this is the medulla. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. On this one, same things. It works out really well because if I look at my, and this is cool, so these are my pyramids. Everybody see that? Pyramid, 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 pyramid. Agreed? Interesting thing is I also have my columns, which are in between. Well, the columns line up with the calyces. You notice that? So in one of those pictures, they have a picture like this, and they're saying, hey, this is the renal column, and that's because the calyces, the minor calyces, line up with the renal columns. Does that make sense? So for me, superficial versus deep. Pyramid, 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 column, 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 minor calyces, major calyx, renal pelvis, leading into the ureter, right? On this one, the renal capsule has been removed completely, but it's not gone. This is it right here. Let's put it back on there like a blanket. So that's so that is their, yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Okay, so this one again, we see our pyramids, we see our columns in between, we see our minor calyces. They go with our major calyx here, going into the renal pelvis, going into our ureter. See how it feeds into the ureter? This one is crap, but it's kind of the same thing, the way it's cut. You can see that these were actual, like I said, it's a cavity, right? It's a hollow cavity. So where I have my probe right here, even though it's crappy, these would be my these would be my minor calyces, but they line up with my renal columns. And that means these, of course, would be my renal pyramids. In between renal columns, this is the cortex, all of this is the medulla. Kidneys are really easy, it's not that much, I promise. On to one, and I ask you what vessels are here, that's when you're going to tell me that they are the cortical radiant arteries and veins. Does that make sense? So if I say what part of the kidney, you're going to tell me cortex. But if I say what vessels would I find here, you're going to tell me that those are the cortical radiant artery and vein. I like that name because cortical lets you know this in the cortex. Radiant because they radiate from the interlobular arteries and veins. And then there's an arcuate artery and vein, which you can see from the animated picture. But if I'm looking at the way these work, is I have an arcuate artery and vein that goes like this. I have my interlobular ones that are in between the lobes. Make sense? It makes sense, right? Because there's pyramids of the lobes. So interlobular ones would be between them. The arcuate one is running horizontally, and then the radiant ones radiate into the cortex. Hence their name, cortical radiant artery and vein.